Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about neonatal respiratory disorders, which comes under Unit 10 High Risk Newborn under your subject OBG. So let's begin. So in the neonatal respiratory disorder, in the newborn, there are so many respiratory problems that newborn suffer. So among those, we are going to discuss about the common one what is affected to the newborn. So first respiratory disorder that we can see commonly in the newborn, it is respiratory distress syndrome, or in the you can say RDS. So it is also known as hyaline membrane disease or HMD. And the commonest cause of preterm neonatal mortality. So this one is the commonest cause in the newborn for the mortality rate, means death rate. And RDS occurs primarily in premature infants, and its incidence is inversely related to the gestational age and birth weight. So this problem most commonly we can see the newborn who is premature. Premature means they are not mature enough to survive in the extrauterine environments. So what happened? Because of that, the people will suffer with the respiratory distress syndrome. And the incident rates is depend on the gestational age and birth weight of the baby. So just example, I can tell you that if the gestational age is less than 28 weeks, the percentage of the affected newborn is 60 to 80%. If it is 30 to 36 weeks, it may be 15 to 30%. If it is between the 37 to 39 weeks, it is 5%. And if the baby born at term, the percentage will be rare. So it means if baby is premature, the RDS will be more in the newborn. So this is about the introduction and incidence of RDS. Now we'll see the etiology and pathophysiology of RDS. So first, surfactant deficiency is the primary cause of RDS. So surfactant means that immature lungs. Okay. So in that what happened, because of that immature lungs or the lungs is not mature enough, so that is the first of primary cause of RDS. So it leads to low level of surfactant cause high surface tension. So because of that the tension it will be more in the lungs or in the respiratory tract. So it leads to high surface tension, makes it hard to expand the alveoli. Because of that tension, the alveoli will be expand, and it causes tendency of affected lungs to become athletic at the end expiration when alveolar pressure are too low to maintain alveoli in the expansion, and it can cause leads to the failures to attain an adequate lungs inflation and therefore reduce the gaseous exchange. So with that, with advancing gestational age, increasing the amount of phospholipids are synthesized and stored in the type 2 alveolar cells. Okay, so main reason from where these RDS is to start because of immature lungs, or you can say surfactant deficiency. And because of that only the tension will be more in the surface tension, okay, in the alveoli. Okay, that cause respiratory distress syndrome or RDS. So if you see in the week, gestational week, like within 20 days, or sorry, within 20 weeks, it start off surfactant production and storage does not reach lung surface until later. And week between the 28 to 32 gestational weeks, it means maximal production of surfactant and appears in amniotic fluid. And between the 34 to 35 weeks, it mature level of surfactant in the lungs, means it's showing how based on the gestational age the lungs is getting mature day by days. So the quality, the amount produced or released may be insufficient to meet the postnatal demand because of immaturity. So surfactant in activating state, example maternal diabetes mellitus, may lead to the surfactant of lower quality or immature. So we have studied in the incidence that gestational age or incidence of RDS is correlated. It is depend on each other. So you can see here why, because during that age only how the lungs is getting mature. Next one is rare genetic disorder may cause fatal respiratory distress. So sometimes not every time. Sometimes there is because of genetic disorder also. There is a respiratory distress syndrome, and there is a abnormalities in the surfactant protein B and C gene, and because of gene also, because of genetic problem also it can happen. So that with this we have finished the etiology and pathophysiology of RDS. We have seen what are the causes and how it is causing, why this are the etiology is responsible for the occurring RDS. Next we are going to see the risk factors of RDS. And the first one is prematurity. It means baby or the mother didn't complete 37 of gestational weeks. Next one is maternal diabetes. If the mother have diabetes mellitus during the pregnancy. Next one is multiple births, like it is not a single baby, twins or triplet. In that case also there is a chance. Next one is elective cesarean section without labor. So the labor pain will be not there. They will plan for cesarean section. That is that can cause. And next one is perinatal asphyxia. So in the mother womb only baby is suffering with the asphyxia. Next one is cold stress and that genetic disorder. So these are some risk factors that can cause RDS in the newborn. In this picture you can see first one, it is for premature lungs, it is for term lungs, means for the premature baby in the gestational age between 24 to 35 weeks. In that the lungs will be like this, it is not fully mature. You can see all the bronchial tree is not fully developed, the alveoli is not fully developed. You can see this picture. But if you go through the terms, like after completing 36 or 37 week gestational period, the lungs will be fully mature enough to maintain the respiratory function or gaseous exchange, and it will be up to 3 years like this only the lungs condition will be. So the baby borns early have lungs that are smaller and less developed at the birth, those who have full term babies. So this is the comparison between the preterm lungs and the term lungs. And here you can see the normal expiration with surfactant and abnormal respiration without surfactant. So here we have sufficient space, so there is no problem, the breathing problem will be normal. But here you can see it is narrowing. So because of that the tension, the surfact tension will be increased, as I told in the pathophysiology. This is the reason. And you can see here in the normal alveoli it will be like this, but in case of RDS the alveoli will be collapsed, there will be not sufficient place to expand, so it can cause RDS in the newborn. Now we are going to see the clinical manifestation of RDS. The first one is tachypnea, second one is nasal flaring, third one is intercostal and sternal recession. It means there is a partial blockage in the intercostal drainage. Next one is gunting. It means closure of glottis during the expiration. So when they throw out that carbon dioxide from the lungs, there will be a closure of glottis. And next one is cyanosis, that is bluish discoloration of the body. So these are the clinical manifestation that we can see in the baby with the RDS. Next, coming to the management of respiratory distress. So there are, we have categorized in three parts. One is monitoring, one is supportive, and one is specific. So in this monitoring means you have to observe the baby, you have to record the respiratory rate, and in the supportive means you have to give supported treatment like IV fluids, maintain vital signs, oxygen therapy, and respiratory support. And there are some specific treatment also. Now I am going to explain it. So in the monitoring or initial care, what we are going to do, we are going to maintain the warmth to the baby. We are going to monitor the blood glucose level, and we are going to provide enough oxygen to the baby because baby is having symptoms cyanosis. Next, coming to respiratory management, in that surfactant replacement therapy and ventilator assistance. So we are going to provide oxygen therapy, and we are going to give CPAP, that is continuous positive airway pressure, through nasal or through ET tube or through face mask. ET means endotracheal intubation. Okay, what we are going to provide positive pressure ventilation, high frequency ventilation, or ECMO, that is extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. So what is the meaning of it? It is a treatment process where we are going to use a pump to circulate the blood through an artificial lungs back into the bloodstream. Okay, for the uh, sick baby. Okay, this is the procedure ECMO. Next one is liquid ventilation. Next, coming to the prophylactic therapy. So if it is extremely preterm, like below 28 weeks of gestational period, or baby weight is below 1 kg, then we'll go for 100 mg per kg body weight phospholipid intratracheal. Through intratracheal, we are going to give phospholipids. The doses will be 100 mg, that is per kg body weight. So these are the treatment for the RDS: monitoring, surfing therapy, and the specific therapy. So with this we have finished the RDS, respiratory distress syndrome. Thank you.